For decades, Loretta Lynn, the queen of country music, has captivated audiences with her honesty, talent, and unforgettable voice. But behind the music, the story of her personal life, particularly her complicated relationship with fellow country legend, Conway Twitty, has remained shrouded in secrecy. Now, in a shocking revelation, Loretta Lynn's daughter has broken her silence, offering a rare glimpse into a family truth that has long been whispered about but never fully confirmed. The revelations are as emotional as they are surprising. Fans have speculated about the nature of Lynn and Twitty's connection for years, but the family rarely commented, leaving rumors to swirl unchecked. Now, with her daughter speaking openly, the world finally hears an intimate perspective, one that highlights love, loyalty, heartbreak, and the untold dynamics behind one of country music's most iconic figures. This disclosure sheds light not just on Lynn's relationship with Twitty, but also on how personal lives can intersect with fame, shaping both family and career in ways the public rarely sees. It's a story of courage, honesty, and the complex emotions behind the music we've long admired. Loretta, Lynn's daughter, finally speaks, and the truth about Conway Twitty, hidden for decades, is finally coming to light. Loretta Lynn is a name synonymous with country music royalty. From the rolling hills of Kentucky to the bright lights of Nashville, she has spent decades commanding the stage with her powerful voice, heartfelt lyrics, and a persona that blends authenticity with resilience. Fans admire her for her music, but few have ever glimpsed the complexities of her personal life, especially her relationship with fellow country legend Conway Twitty. For years, whispers circulated, rumors flourished, and speculation ran wild, but the family remained silent. Now, Loretta Lynn's daughter has decided to speak out, breaking a silence that has lasted decades. Her revelations promise to shed light on a private dynamic that fans only glimpsed in fleeting interviews or public appearances. The story is not one of scandal, but of the nuances, emotions, and struggles behind the fame, as well as the interplay between two of country music's most iconic figures. According to Lynn's daughter, Conway Twitty was both a figure of admiration and tension in their household. On one hand, he was a brilliant musician, a mentor, and a presence that demanded respect. On the other, his relationship with Lynn was complicated, layered with professional rivalry, personal tensions, and unspoken dynamics that only those closest to the family could understand. Growing up, Lynn's children were aware of the complexities but shielded from much of the deeper truth, a balance maintained out of love, discretion, in an effort to protect them from public scrutiny. Her account confirms what fans had long speculated. There was a closeness between Lynn and Twitty that went beyond mere professional camaraderie. While the details are delicate and deeply personal, they reveal a side of both artists that the public rarely saw, moments of private conversation, quiet concern, and a level of care that existed behind closed doors. It's a reminder that even legendary figures are human, navigating relationships with all the complexities, compromises, and emotions that define ordinary life. Lynn's daughter also shares the emotional impact of growing up in the shadow of such monumental figures. There was pride, certainly, in seeing her mother's success and her father's talent, but there was also awareness of the subtle tensions and the weight of public expectation. She recalls moments when the household was charged with unspoken emotion, when admiration and concern mixed with the stress of managing public perception. These moments, she explains, shaped her understanding of love, loyalty, and the sacrifices required when personal life and career intersect at such high stakes. Despite the challenges, her narrative underscores the enduring respect and affection between Lynn and Twitty. They may have had differences, complexities, and private struggles, but there was also mutual admiration, shared experiences, and a bond forged through decades of work, music, and navigating the pressures of fame. Her perspective humanizes both icons, reminding fans that behind the accolades, awards, and public personas are individuals dealing with the same emotions, struggles, and triumphs as anyone else. This sets the stage for a deeper exploration of the untold story, the moments that were hidden from the cameras, the dynamics that shaped a household, and the truths that have remained silent until now. Loretta Lynn's daughter speaks not to sensationalize, but to illuminate, offering a rare window into the family life of one of country music's most beloved stars and the legendary figure who influenced it. in ways both subtle and profound. By breaking the silence, she not only honors her mother's legacy but also invites fans to see the human side of Conway Twitty, a man whose impact extended far beyond the stage and into the very fabric of the family's life. The untold truths are finally coming to light, offering a nuanced, emotional, and deeply personal portrait of two icons and the family that grew up. Alongside them, Loretta Lynn's daughter paints a vivid picture of what life was like behind the glitz and glamour of country music's biggest stages. Conway Twitty was not just a colleague or fellow performer. He was a figure whose presence loomed large in both professional and personal spaces. According to her, the bond between her mother and Twitty was complicated, a blend of admiration, rivalry, and a quiet intimacy that the public never fully understood. Twitty, she explains, was charismatic and commanding. Yet there were moments of vulnerability that only those closest to him witnessed. He had an unmatched ability to read people and situations, a trait that allowed him to navigate the music industry with ease, but also created tension when he sensed disingenuous behavior. Lynn and Twitty's interactions reflected this dynamic. Professionally, they respected each other immensely. Privately, their connection was nuanced, often oscillating between warmth and guarded caution. One example she shares involves a tour where the two spent long hours rehearsing and performing together. While the audience saw flawless duets and seamless stage chemistry, behind the scenes there were moments of silent understanding, small gestures of encouragement, and candid conversations about life, music, and family. These glimpses reveal a side of Twitty rarely acknowledged, a man capable of mentorship, empathy, and subtle care. Even amid the pressures of fame. Her account also confirms long-standing rumors about Twitty's influence in Lynn's personal life. While their relationship was never romantic in the traditional sense, there were moments of private support, advice, and connection that went beyond professional courtesy. These interactions, kept discreet, were a vital part of the family's life, shaping decisions, offering guidance, and providing comfort during challenging times. The daughter emphasizes that Twitty was both a presence of stability and occasional tension, embodying contradictions that mirrored the complexity of life in the spotlight. Growing up around these two icons, Lynn's children learned early on to navigate a world of dual realities. There was the public persona, the flawless performances, the polished interviews, and the endless tours. And then there was the private reality, laughter behind closed doors, whispered conversations, moments of frustration, and the subtle negotiation of personal boundaries. Her daughter recalls instances when she witnessed fleeting disagreements between her mother and Twitty, not born of malice, but from differing perspectives, priorities, or simply the stress of constant public scrutiny. Despite any tension, respect remained central to their relationship. Her daughter describes how Twitty often offered advice on navigating fame and maintaining personal integrity, guidance that Lynn valued deeply. The mentorship aspect of their connection was crucial, demonstrating that influence does not always manifest in headlines or public narratives. It was in quiet, almost invisible moments that the bond between them truly revealed itself, shaping careers, family decisions, and personal growth alike. These revelations underscore a central truth. The dynamics between public figures are rarely as straightforward as they appear. Lynn and Twitty's story, as told by her daughter, highlights the blend of admiration, influence, and personal connection that can coexist with professional rivalry and public perception. It's a reminder that behind every legendary performance is a web of relationships that influence, inspire, and sometimes complicate life in ways audiences cannot. By sharing these moments, Lynn's daughter offers not just clarity but humanity. Conway Twitty emerges as a nuanced figure, talented, perceptive, occasionally challenging, yet deeply influential in the life of her mother and their family. The interplay of public achievement and private reality is laid bare, allowing fans to understand that even the brightest stars are guided, shaped, and supported by relationships often invisible to the world. As this closes, it becomes clear that the story is about more than rumors. It's about the intricate balance of personal and professional life, mentorship, influence, and familial bonds. Conway Twitty was not merely a fellow star. He was a figure whose presence shaped the life of Loretta Lynn and by extension, the family that grew up alongside her, leaving an indelible mark that has finally been acknowledged. Loretta Lynn's daughter paints a deeply personal picture of life behind the stage lights, revealing how Conway Twitty's presence affected not only her mother's career but the family as a whole. While Twitty was admired professionally for his talent and influence in country music, his private interactions with the family were layered with emotion, subtle tension, and moments of unexpected warmth. She recalls how, during tours or recording sessions, Twitty often displayed a protective side toward her mother, while the public saw only their professional camaraderie. Privately, he would offer advice on handling the pressures of fame, the challenges of negotiating contracts, or navigating personal decisions that could impact her career. These moments were formative, teaching Lynn resilience and pragmatism. Yet, at times, the intensity of his opinions created friction, small disagreements that, in hindsight, highlighted his investment in her success and well-being. The daughter also shares anecdotes of quieter, more intimate moments. Twitty was known for his charisma, but he had a reflective, thoughtful side that few witnessed. He would occasionally sit with Lynn and her family, discussing the struggles of maintaining personal integrity in an industry obsessed with image and expectation. These conversations, she explains, left a lasting impression, shaping not only her mother's approach to music but the values that guided the household. The lessons extended beyond music, about honesty, discipline, and the complexities of balancing personal and professional life. Growing up, she noticed the emotional duality surrounding Twitty. On one hand, he was a figure of guidance and mentorship, offering reassurance when public scrutiny or career setbacks threatened to overwhelm her mother. On the other, his presence sometimes carried tension, as the weight of expectation and ambition occasionally clashed with family routines or personal choices. These dynamics were never dramatic in a sensational sense, but they were real, formative, and deeply influential. One particularly memorable account involves a holiday gathering where Twitty, typically reserved in social settings, showed a surprisingly tender side. He listened attentively to the children, offered lighthearted advice, and demonstrated patience and kindness rarely associated with his public image. Moments like these revealed a multidimensional man, talented, exacting, yet capable of genuine care and emotional depth. The daughter emphasizes that these personal interactions often went unnoticed by the public, but were vital in shaping the family's experience of fame, influence, and interpersonal relationships. Her reflections also highlight the emotional resilience required in such an environment. Living alongside iconic figures, navigating public scrutiny, and witnessing private tensions demanded a keen awareness of emotional boundaries. She explains that understanding these subtleties was critical in maintaining balance, preserving family harmony, and appreciating the mentorship Twitty provided without being overwhelmed by it. Ultimately, these stories reveal the humanity behind legendary personas. Conway Twitty was not just a collaborator or a colleague. He was a figure who left an indelible mark on the family, influencing both professional decisions and personal development. His mentorship, guidance, and emotional presence shaped the household in ways that had long gone unspoken. By sharing these memories, Lynn's daughter offers a candid and nuanced view of a man whose public fame only partially reflected his private impact. This underscores a larger truth. Behind every icon lies a network of personal relationships, guidance, and emotional influence that profoundly shapes their life and legacy. The untold moments between Twitty, Loretta Lynn, and the family illuminate the complexities of mentorship, admiration, and private influence, giving fans a more complete understanding of the people who helped shape one of country music's most legendary figures. In revealing these intimate truths, Lynn's daughter not only honors her mother's legacy, but also humanizes Conway Twitty, showing that beyond the accolades and the music, there existed genuine care, guidance, and quietly influential relationships that shaped lives in ways the public never saw. As Loretta Lynn's daughter reflects on her mother's life, it becomes clear how profoundly Conway Twitty influenced not only Lynn's career but the family's personal growth. Twitty's presence was complex, a mix of mentorship, professional partnership, and personal guidance that left an enduring mark. His influence helped shape the woman who became a country music icon, and the family that watched her navigate fame, hardship, and creativity. Twitty's guidance often came in subtle, quiet ways, He taught her mother how to navigate the pressures of the music industry without compromising her integrity, how to balance public expectations with private realities, and how to handle challenges with resilience and grace. These lessons, while understated, were deeply formative. Lynn's daughter recalls how the family benefited from his wisdom, the ability to maintain dignity amidst gossip, the understanding that fame carries responsibility, and the insight that professional success requires careful decision-making and emotional discipline. At the same time, Twitty's influence was not without tension. Differences of opinion, subtle conflicts, and moments of disagreement revealed the complexity of his character and the depth of the relationship. These tensions were never destructive. Instead, they were part of the learning process, teaching Lynn and her family that even relationships with powerful, charismatic figures require negotiation, patience, and emotional intelligence. The daughter emphasizes that understanding these nuances shaped her perception of relationships and informed her approach to both personal and professional challenges. The revelation of these private dynamics offers fans a new lens through which to view Lynn's legacy. Beyond the awards, hit songs, and public acclaim, there was a life deeply influenced by mentorship, guidance, and the subtle yet meaningful presence of Conway Twitty. His involvement in the family's life illustrates how relationships behind the scenes can profoundly affect the trajectory of a legendary career, providing both support and insight when public acclaim is not enough. For Lynn, Twitty's presence reinforced the importance of maintaining a balance between personal and professional life. She learned that talent alone is insufficient. Longevity in the music industry requires understanding, discretion, and the guidance of those with experience. Twitty's role as both a colleague and a quiet mentor exemplifies this principle. The daughter's account reveals how these lessons were internalized, influencing not only Lynn's decisions but also the way the family approached fame, public attention, and personal integrity. The legacy of this relationship is multifaceted. On one level, it underscores Twitty's role in shaping Lynn's career, helping her navigate complex professional landscapes while remaining true to her values. On another, it illustrates the human side of public figures, men and women whose guidance, care, and subtle mentorship often remain unseen but have a lasting impact on the people around them. Finally, it provides insight into the resilience, wisdom, and discretion that defined Lynn's approach to both music and family life. Loretta Lynn's daughter's revelations remind us that behind every celebrated career are personal connections, mentorship, and influence that quietly shape decisions, character, and legacy. Twitty's guidance, while understated, was instrumental in helping Lynn achieve her iconic status, and the lessons learned continue to resonate within the family. Ultimately, the story of Conway Twitty's influence is not one of sensationalism or scandal. It is a testament to the ways private relationships can shape public success, to the subtle guidance that influences careers and lives, and to the enduring impact of mentorship, respect, and emotional intelligence. Through the eyes of Lynn's daughter, fans gain a deeper understanding of both legends, the woman who became the queen of country music, and the man whose presence quietly helped shape her life and career. In revealing these truths, the family finally breaks decades of silence, offering a nuanced, heartfelt, and deeply personal perspective on the lives of two country music icons and the relationships that define them.